happy people. Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a Scraplift Saturday post using this photo of my oldest at graduation and all of us. And I'm going to be lifting this photo or this layout by Trish today. And you can hop on over to the Traci Reed Designs blog. There's a link in the description box below to see other examples of people scrap lifting Trish. Trish is an amazing, layered, detailed, doodly scrapbooker. She's amazing. I love her. So you will totally get inspired by her layouts if you hop on over and check it out. But I am going to be playing with lots and lots of paper today. Hello, Aries. Maybe playing with lots and lots of paper today in this layout. And so I'm starting with these 3 papers for the base of my layout. I'm going with that green and yellow theme again, plus this one is confetti. I am using the Filled with Intention collection. I'm trying to bust out of my happy day rut that I literally created for my oldest birthday and graduation. But this has a lot of beautiful green and yellow in it too. And so I'm going to be starting with those as a base using the Filled with Intention collection. I think I might need to print out some more of the embellishments because I've used the heck out of this collection, but we will see how it goes. All right, let's get started. So the first thing that I needed to do was create a background because I only print one of each paper at a time. I only had one of each paper. So what I did was I cut the 2 that were going to be the biggest part of the background in half exactly and used them on both sides of the page. And then I used the yellow paper as a sort of belly band to join the 2 halves together. And that way it looked like I had paper that was long enough or like spanned the whole spread. And then, you know, you never know. That was part of Trish's original layout, so it worked out well. Now I'm just taking these scraps of paper that I have and I'm cutting them into loose multi-sized triangles. I'm going to arrange them in rainbow order because it's what I do, and I'm interspersing some multicolored papers as well as some black and white papers in here too. I'm just sort of winging it and hoping that I can get to the end here with a full like array of colors. So I'm just trying to find any scrap papers that I might have that I can pull from. So I think I've got enough now. I need to make sure that everything is readable, so I had to take that white with the rainbows off of the edge because it was blending into the black paper in the background. And now I'm going to add adhesive to the middle of each page and then just use my fingers to rough up the edges. And then once I get these all down, I'm actually going to use my distressor and distress all of the edges as well. So I found pink that I wanted to add in here. And so this is going to create some height on the layout too. Going to create some depth and some texture that is sometimes sorely needed in, especially when you're using printables, because everything is paper. It's sometimes sorely needed to create some texture and some depth in a different way with your printables. So that's what I really liked about this sketch as well, was that the edges of Trish's triangles were bent up and sort of added to the dynamic effect of the layout. So I've got all these down, or just about all of these down, and they're fun and going in rainbow order. I like the addition of the multicolored triangles as well. So I'm just going to cut off the edges here where the I cut the paper on accident, but I'm just going to cut off the edges where the photo is going to sit, and I decided that it needed something between the photo and all that color, so I'm just going to use the black solid paper as a photo mat, which works out well because obviously the graduation gown is black. So I'm just hand cutting this. And I'm going to use some pop dots on the bottom edges or the bottom corners where the photo is sitting on the flat paper, because it's obviously going to pop up off of those folded up triangles really well. So I want to make sure that it's got enough support there at the bottom corners to pop up there. And now you can see I'm just distressing the edges of each of the triangles. And the reason I did that afterwards, because it would be so that I knew which edges would be visible. I didn't want to like over distress or distress parts that didn't need to be distressed because they weren't visible. I really want to use this Ready or Not Watch Me Grow. I think it's perfect for a graduation. And so I am using that as my main title. I'm not going to add any journaling. I've done so many graduation layouts at this point that everything has journaling, so I don't need to add too much more. I also have another page that I'm going to be creating with this, with specifically graduation day photos, so I can add journaling there if I decide I want to add a little bit about how or what we did for graduation. So I'm going to add in, I want to add in this label, not for any reason. I think I'm going to add in the date on it, but just because it makes a good anchor for the page. Decided I didn't want two labels, and I'm going to put this down so that it stops moving around. That was one of the TN signatures, so I trimmed it down a lot. I'm going to back it on black just like I did with the photo. You can see that the edges of the mat on the photo are distressed too, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with this as well. Trish always uses a lot of texture, a lot of folds, a lot of mixed media in her pages, so I'm really wanting to capture the essence of what she does as a scrapbooker, not just use the same layout as her page. I really wanted to do that thought bubble, but it was too many words, and I didn't want to add in too much when it came to words. You know, I like words, but the papers were making such a statement on this page, I didn't want to add in too many more focal points. So I have I have really gotten down to the dregs of the stickers on this page, or for this collection. I've used it a lot. I've used a lot of the stickers. So I had the stars left over. It's hard to see on camera, but that one that looks white is kind of an off, like a really light pink with white polka dots. I really don't have a lot left, and it's really time to reprint the stickers. So I'm pulling in some stickers from the Happy Day collection to supplement. These two collections, both in theme and in color, work together very well, which is awesome because I always love one giant collection, or at least a collection that I can use to work together. I definitely felt that You Amaze Me needed an anchor, so I used one of the black patterns, switched up the word strips, but they all need an anchor up there because they were floating in space. I thought about adding a matching half circle at the bottom for that You Amaze Me, but it kind of looked, it like threw off the balance a bit, and I didn't really love it. So I just kind of left the word strips wonky down there, and this is when I'm going, this isn't enough. I need some more embellishment here. So I decided that I was going to get out my stamps, and I pulled in some matching colors and black to go with this spread. So I'm going to use green and yellow, and I'm going to pull in blue as well, just to stamp randomly around the spread, because I felt like it's, you know, celebratory. Stars are celebratory to me, so it worked out well. But I felt like once I had these stamped down, it wasn't quite enough. It just was never quite enough, right? So I'm going to add in some blue stars, and then I'm going to get real wild, and directly on my desk, like a big old dork, I am going to use some black ink, and I'm going to add splatters to this page. Don't worry, no desks were harmed in the making of this page. I cleaned it up directly afterwards, but I am going to make a big old mess. I was too lazy to move over to my stamping pad. So I'm using some scrap paper to cover up portions of the layout that I don't want splatters on, but I want them to be real messy, real fun, because that's exactly how Trish scrapbooks. So that's what I'm adding here. It's going to go over the top of everything, even the paper strips, and then I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There is a link to Scraplift Saturday in the description box below if you want to play along. All right, thank you.